Yo, yo, yo. What's up, killers? Thank you for coming to the live stream yet again. I love you. You rock. You're the bomb. Diggity, diggity, bomb, diggity. It's Tuesday, April 28th, and I'm happy to see you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for rolling with a brother. Yeah. It's live stream number 20. 20. 20. I've done 20 of these already. I got to say that I'm happy about that. I'm very happy to have gotten to this point. I was sitting around about 15 minutes ago excited to get in here, and I very much so am excited to be here. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I really want you to know I definitely appreciate everybody who's popped in, who's been in the live chat, who's asked any sort of questions, and who's just watched any of these. It's very it's very awesome, and I really mean that. So let's go ahead and let me move around some of my windows here. Make sure everything's cool in the field. Oh wow, we got to go over some W's. So what I like to do is I like to talk about the W's of the day. So today, is my light good? Yeah, I want you all to see it. We got this red light back here. Hope that's red enough for you. Yeah, good. Just got to let you know we got some production value here. So the W for the day, did an 8 miler. I did an 8 miler yesterday and another 8 miler today. I am building up my mileage base so that I can run a half marathon. I'm going to be completing a half marathon by July 12th. So there's quite a few days until then, considering that it's April 28th now. So I got plenty of time. So that's a good one. So it's 16 miles in 2 days. I am getting overtrained. It's all right. It's all part of the process. The other W is that my weight's coming down because I am working on losing body fat and body weight in general. When I say body weight, what I mean is adipose tissue, aka fat. I don't want to have any excess fat. It slows me down, it makes me run slower, and it doesn't make me look too cute. So I work on that a little bit. So I'm dropping weight. So I weigh myself first thing in the morning every day, and then I've got this nice little routine. I've done it for almost 10 days in a row, and I write my weight in this little itty bitty book here. So that's super helpful for keeping me on track. So my weight's coming down. I'm the lightest that I've been in the last 10 days. And it's because I'm doing my cardio and I'm just focusing on the basic stuff that got me to my best weight before, which was, that was buck 71. That was the lightest I've ever been as a full grown mammal. So what I did to get there, was I drank lots of water instead of any sorts of juices and things like that. I did keto as well. I fasted. Excuse me. I did. I didn't fast. I did fasted cardio every morning. Didn't do too much intermittent fasting actually. I would just eat breakfast around 11 a.m. So I'd wake up, I'd go do cardio, and then I'd eat breakfast around then. That's pretty much it. It wasn't like this intermittent fasting protocol where I was on like a 16-8 or a 24 or something like that. I wasn't on a actual regimen. So I did that, and that worked out really well. And I took days off. Hey, what's up, Trueheart fan, aka Anthony? How are you? It's good to see you drop into the live stream. Appreciate it. I'm doing well. How you doing? So the good thing was that I lost that weight and I've been that weight, so now I know that I can actually get down to that again. And I did a couple different things, but one of the big things is drinking water, and I not eating too many sweets, but I have some from time to time. You're doing good. That's beautiful. It's rainy where I'm living. I live outside of DC. I don't know where you live, but it's rainy here, so I'm inside. I actually trying to stay dry, so that's good. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're feeling all right in your heart and your soul. I know that you just went through something, so I feel you. I feel you. It's not easy. Yo, DK, what's up, dog? Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're both here. Thanks for coming to the live chat, y'all. So I'm glad that you're doing well, Anthony, DK. I see you're saying that you don't have any friends. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that right now. I got some information for you. Wait, it's not good? It's not good over there, Anthony? Wait, what do you mean don't say that? We're gonna work on helping DK with his not having friends situation. And what do you mean no it's not? Don't say that. Clarify that for me. So what we start with when we do these live streams is we want to start with our W's. So if you have a W for today, like a win, something that happened yesterday or today that's good, throw that into the live chat. Like, oh man, I just woke up, I had a healthy breakfast, awesome. I got a cool haircut and I cut my own hair. So, that's always a little bit risky, but it came out solid. So that's a W there. Cool. Cool. All right, so I'm looking at what you guys are saying over there. I'm gonna glance at that from time to time if I see stuff popping up. So we got a lot of stuff happening here in the world. You got no W's, nothing but L's. Hey, let's work on reframing what we consider an L into a challenge to ourselves. And then when we work on the challenge and we get closer to achieving what we're trying to achieve, that can be our W. So it won't necessarily be a big W, but we can get little W's. And what you do is you get a lot of little W's, and you get a lot of little W's in a row, and then next thing you know, you got a big W. And after a while, you're going to be able to feel the difference. I hope you guys make your bed in the morning. I woke up this morning and I made my bed. And that's a big thing in the world of success. And it starts at such a simple, mundane task, but it can have, I don't like this term, but they say game changing possibilities. It's a game changer, right? You hear that before? Well, they say that if you wake up in the morning and you simply make your bed, it gives you one of those very, very small W's. Because if you have a terrible day after you make your bed, when you get home, at the end of the day, and you're dead tired, the world has gut punched you, so to speak. You will come home to a made bed. And the made bed is a metaphor for tomorrow being good. You can open that bed, you can get in there, you can get a good night's sleep. And when you, so that's it's the idea of hope, the made bed. So that's good. So let's start by making our bed if we're not making our bed. If we're not brushing our teeth first thing in the morning, if we're not brushing our teeth before we go to sleep, let's brush our teeth. If we're brushing our teeth but we're not flossing, let's brush our teeth and let's floss and let's work on our hygiene, our whole hygiene, all of our grooming. When you work on that, whether or not you're going to leave the house, you're still going to feel good. These little things are W's. Don't set, sometimes people get tyrannical with themselves and they set these expectations that they're too high. When you set the bar a little lower, then you can achieve these goals, and that's what we want to do. We want to get success, and then we want to get another success and another success. We don't want to look at everything with a negative lens. Right. It's not only what the blue pill Jordan Peterson says, DK. It's actually also what the I believe he's a colonel. He's he was a Marine, and so he was in the Navy, and he was doing the commencement speak at the University of Texas. So that's in Austin. That's where the Longhorns, their uniforms are all white and that like burnt orange color. So the Texas Longhorns commencement speech, I believe it was in 2018, he gave this amazing speech. And what he said was, in essence, he talks about what boot camp is like for the Marines and how it's far more challenging than it is to just do boot camp if you're going to be in the Navy. So that Marine boot camp was life changing, and one of the things that they do first thing in the morning is they make you make your bed, and it's not just like when Jordan Peterson says, "Hey, make your bed." It's like when the Marines tell you to make your bed, you have to make your bed perfectly, perfectly. And you know that if you're in the military and you're in boot camp, your bed's going to look spotless. So the standards that they set for those guys in the Marine boot camp is very high. So that is where I actually got that from. Jordan Peterson also says that. But hey, you know you're supposed to make your bed. You knew that since you were in kindergarten. You knew that forever. I'm gonna pull up that it's McCraven, the McCraven make your bed speech. Yeah, it was the 2014 commencement speech. You're gonna love this. I'm gonna go ahead and then I'm going to pardon me if the Let's start. Sorry, pardon me if the volume went off. I'm trying to be good about that. All right, so I'm gonna copy the link to it. What I do when I feel kind of crappy is I wake up in the morning, and if I do feel crappy, what I'll do is I'll actually light a stick of incense. So what that does is that changes the smell in the room, and that will actually change some of the fundamental dynamics of the environment. So I'll change the smell, and then from there, it smells different, so it is different from a sensory standpoint. Then I will put on this speech and I'll play it as I make my bed. And then I'll start to, take my clothes out of the dryer, put the other one in the washing machine, and I'll actually prepare my day while listening to this. There it goes. It's in the live stream chat for you guys. And I'll do that, and that is super, super beneficial. And it gets me going. If I wasn't feeling great and I was dragging a little bit, this is a form of fuel. You need to maintain your fuel reserves because when you run out of fuel, you'll lose your morale, and that will make you less enthusiastic. Because this is the thing. It's finite. It is finite. Your motivation, your morale, and you'll lose it. So that's why we have to do things like that from time to time. That's why I exercise so much, so that I have more energy. If you don't exercise, you'll have less energy than somebody who exercises regularly. I exercise so I have the energy to do all the things I want to do. Good. Hey, if you're already doing those things, that's great. Or there are things that you could do that are even better. That's the idea. I'm giving you very simple things. If you have something that's more complex, DK, then that's what you're going to want to do. I don't know what you do. So when you give me an answer like that, it sounds it's a little aggressive, man. See what I'm saying? Like, I already brush my teeth and take care of my hygiene. That's nothing to have a W for. It's something that should be normally done in common sense. Hey, it's not common sense to everybody. It really isn't. There's a lot of people that have yellow teeth that have all these kind of issues, right? So it's clearly not. And remember, I don't know you like that. Okay? So relax, right? You need to be objective about yourself and think about what would be a W for you. A W for you may be not using negative self talk for one day. Because if you can get that, would be a W for the day to not speak negatively of yourself. There's something called being impeccable with your word. Being impeccable with your word is one of the 4 agreements as written by an excellent writer. His name is Don Miguel Ruiz. And being impeccable with your word requires a few different things. One of them is to never lie. That's being true and honest with your word. You're not lying. That's part of being impeccable with your word. So it also extends into, if you say that you're going to be somewhere at 2, you're there at 2. I've started the live stream at like 2:05 before and stuff like that, like, but maybe once or twice. I consistently start it on time because I always strive to be impeccable with my word. So we don't lie. That's another one of the things about being impeccable with our word. The greater point about this and about negative self talk is, when you say things, you're not saying negative things about other people. So you're not like criticizing them. You're not condemning them with words. You're not also doing it on yourself. You're not using negative self talk. You say you don't have any friends. Well, you want to work on that. And I'm not, you're saying you don't have any friends. I think that we have a friendly relationship here. So when you say you don't have any friends, how true is that statement, right? All right, so work on that. Work on being impeccable with your word. I think that will be very helpful for you. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. I'm going to go through some horoscope stuff. If you want to throw out what your actual zodiac sign is, I'll give you your horoscope. That'll be a lot of fun. And remember this: the world can only see us as we see ourselves. So the way that you see you and the way that you feel about yourself, it's going to be part of your essence. And then that's going to be your internal feeling. And then you're going to approach the world and everything you do with that internal energy. And people are going to read you. People are very intuitive. They're perceptive. They can feel energies. You come home and you're in a bad mood, your mom will ask you, hey, what's wrong? This has happened before. They'll ask you what's wrong. And you're like, how does she even know what's going on? People can do this. Women are very intuitive. They're even more intuitive than men when it comes to feelings and emotions. I'm sure you're aware of this. I'm not being sexist. It's just part of the differences between men and women. So when you see yourself in a certain energy state and then you go out, you're going to perpetuate that, and other people are going to, they're going to pick up on it, they're going to tune into that, and they're going to feel that. I have a lot of great interactions with people all the time. I very rarely butt heads with people. So one of the reasons why is I really genuinely like people. And when people are around me, they're like, oh, this guy's cool. He likes people. Not everybody is doing live streams every day and working on becoming positive like as a venture. This is not very common. So that is just an example of that. We The way we see ourselves is the way the world sees us. You can't become a great rapper if you don't believe you can become a great rapper. You can't. I do have friends to some extent, but all of them are negatively caught up in materialistic things and are superficial. And so, because I'm not like them, they outcast me and think I'm weird. I just don't trust people. Okay, so that is a good observation. That is a good observation of yourself when you say that you don't trust people. When you don't trust people, then most of your interactions with people are going to have they're going to be affected. And when I say affected, I don't mean affected, I mean affected with like an A. There's going to be an affectation to them. The energy that you're going to give off when you have an affectation of distrust is going to be picked up. So, are they going to hurt you? Are they going to try to play you? If you don't trust people, you want to think about why you don't trust them. Are they going to take something from you? So the thing is, if they think you're weird, then that's okay. you can own that. If they if they think you're weird and it's a bad thing, then remove yourself. Remove yourself from that situation. Remove. No need to stay there. You have PTSD from it. Well, you can certainly work on that. You can work on that. I'm not the only person out there giving advice. I definitely think that you should seek some help when you get an opportunity to. There's plenty of YouTube channels that can offer you help with that. I'm sure that there's some reading that you can do. But you definitely want to work on that. You want to, accepting your friends for who they are and how. Remember, you're 19, right? This is a great. This will be helpful. So you're 19, and what you're interacting with is mostly a bunch of people that are probably somewhere between 17 and 21, I'm going to imagine, right? Maybe not even under 18, because if you're 19, you kind of can't hang out with minors and such. So you're interacting with a bunch of people that are only so developed. Since they're only at that level, and when I say only, I don't mean that to obviously diminish them. What I mean is that that is as far as they've developed. If you're somebody who says that you're conscious and you're woke and you're a seeker, and then you are around people who are young and they're watching a lot of Instagram twerk videos and World Star and fill in the blank, whatever have you, and they're doing a lot of like low level stuff. Yo, I'm trying to get the new J's, yada yada yada. What's going to happen is that you might get bored by that. Remember that they're young people too, because sometimes you're in that mode, like when you probably just want to play video games and whatnot, and maybe they don't. Maybe they're like, "Hey man, come on outside." I just want to play video games. Then they're gonna be like, "What's up with this dude?" So you want to remember where you are and what you're dealing with. It happens all the time in school. That's one of the biggest conflicts. Sometimes there's two kids in the class. They're boys, yo, and then what happens is one of them's trying to actually do their schoolwork, and then the other one is playing. So then the one that's trying to focus on the lesson will like be like upset, punch the other one in the arm, not like violently, but enough to be a disruption to the lesson itself. And then the other one gets offended because they're just playing. I'm just playing, yo. And now they're getting into a scuffle, and now they get moved out of the classroom. They're both in the hallway talking to the teacher, and it's always, what was happening? I'm trying to listen to the lesson, and then this fool is punching me and poking me and stuff. I'm trying to listen to you, Mr. Trueheart. And then I go, well, what's your side of the story? And they go, I was just playing. I was just playing. See, one of them is on point and being mature, and one of them is playing. So when you're in a situation where people are looking at you like such and such a way, you got to accept them for that as who they are, or you just got to remove yourself from the situation because they think you're a weirdo. You got two options. Choose whichever one works for you. But if you accept them, then you can have more fun. If you remove yourself from them, then you're on your own. And I don't know what that's going to be like long term, because you want to develop social skills. Okay, cool. hmm Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there. So, that which is impossible to see or experience at lower levels of consciousness becomes self evident and stunningly obvious at higher levels of consciousness. The pursuit of higher levels of consciousness is never a waste of time, because as you elevate yourself to higher levels of consciousness and spirituality, the world will become a more beautiful and bright place, and you will feel freer. The understanding of the underlying emotion and its correct handling. How do I feel? What am I feeling? What emotion is this? What we use our emotional intelligence to help guide our lives. Our emotional intelligence is like the mind version, the internal compass for our emotions themselves. Our emotions are very human, right? It's like a spidey sense. That's what your emotion is. Your emotional intelligence, if you can really develop it, and be understanding of how am I feeling and why am I feeling. Then what we can do is we can really see what's going on here, and we can save time. It's really, really beneficial. It's very beneficial. Sometimes we don't know why we feel a certain way. Like, I don't know why I don't like these people. You might like not like them because they fundamentally are doing things that conflict with your internal compass, but you don't have a lot of options of people to socialize with, so you go along with it. You see it all the time in the movies, right? There's like this one kid, and he's kind of a good kid. That's the archetype. And then you see he's got some friends, and the friends get into trouble. And what happens is the character is inevitably put in a situation where one of the kids, it's kind of bad, goes into a store, maybe steals something, pulls a gun, somebody gets shot. It's like a Boys in the Hood scenario, and you've seen it over and over again. There's like three kids usually. It's like the kid that's a good kid, the kid that's kind of on the he could go, oh, he's on the fence, and then there's the bad kid, and then the bad kid will take the guy that's on the fence, and then the guy that's on the fence will end up getting killed. And then you're like, damn man, he had a chance. He had so much promise. The good kid, if it's a happy film, he'll get out of there and he'll leave. And then the other bad kid, the movie will end, and then at the end of the movie they'll say, like, they'll just have the dialogue, a caption, and they'll say he died 3 weeks later. He died 3 weeks after the protagonist left and ended up taking that college scholarship. Sometimes, you gotta understand how you feel about things. It's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of the best books that I ever read. I read this book after getting caught cheating on a girlfriend, and I read this and it was blowing my mind because I cheated on my girlfriend because been she had been essentially a I don't want to call her a name, but she was definitely very, very difficult. Very difficult person. And I was super nice. I'm nice. I'm nice. I'm very accommodating. I'm trying to make her happy. You're going to DK, you would qualify this as blue pill. And I was blue pill at the time, if we can actually make vocabulary assessments of like where I was. So what I did was I sought out the emotions and the feelings that I wanted from my girlfriend with another girl. We got into a situation where maybe like we did sort of break up, but it was one of those fake breakups where you're going to get back together in like a week. And I was aware of it, and I know she was aware of it too. We were both mutually understanding, but this is all, on a subconscious layer. So I go out to a club with one of my buddies from college, and I meet a girl. Quick, quick, dog. So then I started dating her. I'm not gonna go into specifics, and ultimately I never truly got caught, but I accidentally text messaged them both. So I had both of their numbers, and I texted one picture of me. It was like a selfie, and then my legitimate girlfriend was like, "Whose number is that?" And I froze, and that's all she needed to know that I had cheated. And I didn't explain to what extent and da 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 da. But the point is that I should have been more understanding of my own emotions, and I should have told my girlfriend, "I don't like the way you treat me." I communicate this. I literally say to her, "I don't like the way you treat me. If you don't change, it's over." And I take the lead. And I say this because if she cares, she's going to want to stay in the relationship. So she would change. But I wasn't doing any of this stuff. I was immature, and I knew that I had options. So I would just resort to meeting another chick, and then you can fill in the blanks from there. Right. See, now that falls under, it falls under the frame of a lack of emotional intelligence. And then when we broke up, I started reading this book, and I started to get a great understanding of why I needed to work on my emotional intelligence. I realized I had a lack of emotional intelligence. And a lot of things will ruin your emotional intelligence. One of them is I'm not gonna. You're gonna. It's gonna sound so odd. I'm wearing a drug rug, but weed will wreck your emotional intelligence. It will wreck it, and the reason why is because you are not in a clear mindset, and you're not able to clearly assess the way you feel about things because you're literally high. You're literally under the influence of things. I actually got into smoking weed because I had a girlfriend before her that broke up with me. And then I was sad. And then I just got to college, and my buddy was like, "Hey, man, you want to get high?" And I realized that when I was high, I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't sad because I felt fundamentally different. But the problem was, and they say this about a lot of drugs, specifically marijuana, if you get high, you will not grow emotionally. You will, but it will stunt your growth, and you'll grow because you'll mature as a human. But your emotional growth will get stunted, and you won't be able to grow until you quit smoking weed. And this is actually, you can look at this online. There's lots of information on this. So I'm actually working back into that now. I smoked for so long. Now I'm like 150 days almost. I'm getting it back. I'm getting back all that stuff because you need emotional intelligence to be effective as a person. It's part of being a whole person. It's very crazy. I'm looking at the live stream. I know you've been waiting. I tried to be the optimist even when other people are negative in the past. Then I just snapped, and now I just resent people as a whole. People just don't like optimists, and they reward negative behavior. It's the people that you're interacting with. It's the people that you're interacting with. You, I'm gonna black pill you real quick, okay? You might be surrounded by shit people. I'm sorry to curse. I apologize. You might be around low frequency people in general. Not only because they're young, you told me a little bit about your parents in the past. So you got some issues here with your family, and then your friends seem to have issues too. It seems like a lot of low frequency behavior from low frequency people. The environment itself, the whole location, the environment may be low frequency. And because of that, you see what's in your environment. Because people don't, that's not true. It's not true. I think that you are in a bad spot. That's your black pill. You are actually in a bad spot. And that is terrible for you. My spot is not like this. My spot is not like this, and yours is. And I'm sorry for that. Those aren't, that's also, I don't also, I disagree with what you're saying down here when you say that people are attracted to negative behavior because it has the strongest emotions. I disagree. The emotion that seems to make the most change in the world is love. It's love. That's the that's gonna probably be the answer. If you asked every person on earth, they wouldn't say anger. They wouldn't say sadness. They'd say like, "What's the most strongest emotion?" They would say love. Ah, I see, Anthony. Yeah, that's from Carlito's Way. So thoughts on the live stream and the connection. So that's the caption for the live stream. Hey, thanks for the like, by the way. I appreciate the like. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I have information here regarding that. Hey, by the way, I said, hey, if you got your give me your horoscope, your astrological horoscope, and I'll give you your horoscope for today. That'll be a lot of fun. Let me jump in there right now. I'll jump in there right now. Aries. Aries, take the time to build closer relationships with the members of your family today. Even though you may feel disconnected at times, it's important to do what you can to be involved in their lives. It would be hard for you to feel complete without good relationships with them all. Let them know in your own way that they are special to you and that you feel you're missing out if this is the case. This will really help towards building stronger ties. That's Aries. I'm gonna do Taurus. If you're having the same dream, there may be something you need to do. Some dream experts say that if you have recurring dreams with people appearing, it's because you have something important to say to them. If this is happening to you, today is a good opportunity to talk to the person in your dreams. Even if you're not sure what you're supposed to say, have a conversation with them. If they live far away, perhaps a phone call or letter would be the thing to do. It might just be that your dreams are saying, you miss that person. This is mine. This is Gemini, and I'm a Gemini. Gemini, it can be very hard for you at times to express your feelings. Sometimes it is, even though we're a communicator. You have a peaceful nature, so when things don't go right for you, or someone upsets you, you may be more inclined to become very quiet and wander off alone than to speak up. Maybe. While this may usually be the case for you, today is not a usual day. The cosmic energies will help you with communication, and you will be able to express yourself very well. People are more likely to understand you as well. Nice! I'm feeling pretty well. Pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good when it comes to communication today. Let me jump into Cancer. Cancer. Your creativity will be highlighted by today's aspects, and it's likely that this will come through best via music. If you play an instrument, things may flow quite smoothly for you today. If you don't, there are many computer programs that, with a little patience, you can use to record those songs and rhythms you sometimes find running through your head. You might not have a hit song on your hands, but you'll discover something that makes you happy, and that's the whole point. Leo. Leo, today if you find yourself taking care of things for other people for the most part, consider finding some time for yourself as well. While there are times where sacrificing your own needs for others can be appropriate, doing this all the time can leave you feeling neglected and even resentful. Oof, that's no good. If your day is spent in this fashion, consider making some plans for yourself either tonight or tomorrow. Keep things in balance. Virgo. I have a very good friend that's a Virgo. A couple of them. Virgo, don't give up today. It can feel so terrible to fail at something that you just want to hide your head in the sand rather than face potential loss again. Yet, if succeeding is important to you, you need to overcome embarrassment and fear. Most people have to try more than once to succeed. This is true. Most entrepreneurs have to fail 4 times before they have a business that works. Isn't that crazy? You'd have to, they say you fail, you fail, you fail, you fail, then you hit it. And that's average. Most people have to try more than once to succeed, especially in the most important of goals. Don't give up on yourself, Virgo. Your goals are worthy of as much effort as it takes. Libra. Lil Wayne is a Libra. Let me go ahead and check in the. I hit you with the. I hit you with the. I hit you with the Taurus one just then, Anthony. I hope you got it. Awesome. Okay, let's go back to the horoscopes here. We just did Libra. No, we're about to do Libra. Libra, today, why not take some much-deserved rest and relaxation? After all, even you need to slow down once in a while. If there are some things you really need to take care of, you can still make plans for recreation afterwards. Spoil yourself with a nap or ordering a takeout for dinner. Visit some of your favorite people. Take a leisurely walk or a long bath. Take care of yourself by resting as well as accomplishing. See, Libras are balanced, man. It's crazy. Scorpio. Ooh, I don't want to say anything negative about Scorpios. I'm just going to read it. Everybody got something to say about a Scorpio. Scorpio. Consider talking with a good friend today. Don't let your pride get in the way of getting the support and help you need. If you've made a mistake or fear you've done something inappropriate, don't walk around guilt-ridden. See about sitting down with a confidant over a cup of coffee or tea and share what's happening for you. Try to keep in mind the fact that everyone finds themselves in positions like this at one time or another. For sure. All right, we only have a couple more. We have one, two, three more. Okay, Capricorn. Yeah. Did I do that? Yeah. No, we have four more. Sagittarius. If some, you know who was a Sagittarius? I believe Richard Pryor was a Sagittarius. Pretty dope. I think he was. I like Sagittarius. If something is, I like them all. I like them all. If something is bothering you today, consider talking with your mother or a senior person you feel comfortable with. No matter how old we become, there can remain a part of us that draws support and nurturing from someone with more experience that we can summon. Draw some strength from this valuable resource today by visiting or calling and express your gratitude for this supportive relationship. That's cool. Capricorn. Your sense of adventure will probably kick into full throttle. Try something new and exciting that you've never done before, or tackle a subject that you've always been interested but never had the time to pursue. So you can start that stamp collection today, okay, Capricorn? If you always stick to what you know and are comfortable with, then life will get pretty boring. You'll find your life enriched by the new frontiers you've decided to explore today. Aquarius. Uh-oh, we got the Aquarius coming in the house. Two more, don't worry. Aquarius and then one more. Aquarius. Make some plans to write a letter, send a greeting card, or put together a package for someone long distance today. This can be a lot of fun to do, especially if the person on the receiving end isn't expecting anything from you. Pictures, crafts, cookies, candies, cards, bookmarks, and of a wide variety of things can make a wonderful package to send to someone special. Even a simple greeting card can really brighten someone's day. Aquarius, have some fun! And now it's the Pisces. Pisces, oh snap, we got the fish. Pisces, you might find yourself really interested in getting out and doing something today. And why not? It can it can't be too difficult to phone a few friends and arrange for getting together in the evening. I don't know about that. I mean, we got a quarantine here. Or perhaps you'd look up the events page in your local newspaper to see whether a meeting or lecture takes place that you'd like to attend on Zoom. Or is there a place you've been curious about and have wanted to visit? This is not a good one. If so, go there today and check it out. Make the best of your time. That is the horoscopes. That is the horoscopes today. Awesome. All right. So that was my first time doing horoscopes. I hope you guys didn't go to sleep on me on that one. Okay, I did it all. I hope you heard that. Um, cool. All right, so those are your horoscopes. I always wanted to try that. It's kind of like a radio show when I do the horoscopes like that. All right, I know that you heard that the Pentagon declassified those Navy files, and you can actually see some of the video footage that there is a UFO in the screen as by the pilot's onboard camera. Well, do you care? Do you care? Is it weird? It's like we already knew that aliens were real for the longest time. You may occasionally just like ask a friend or somebody that you like work with where you're just trying to make the conversation a little more juicy. You're like, "Hey, do you believe in aliens?" It's kind of like when you're like, "Hey, do you believe in ghosts?" It's in that neighborhood, but it's a little more scientific, so people are usually more affirming to that question. So you go, hey, you believe in aliens? And at this point, I've noticed the trend. Over the last 5, 10 years, everybody says yes. They go, well, considering how vast the universe is and whatnot, yeah, for sure aliens exist, at least as at the very least as a bacteria or something that lives on another planet. For sure aliens exist. So we see this information that we knew existed, that you've known about UFOs since you were a child. Nobody cares. That's the idea that I've been getting. That's the kind of paradigm that I've been understanding. Nobody seems to care. But I'm surprised, right? I thought that there'd be people like running around all crazy and stuff. Hey, you know what would have been a cool thing? It would have been cool if the if like there was a professional sports team like based out of Albuquerque. Like if Albuquerque's not a tiny town, they could probably get a pro team, right? If Albuquerque had a team, they should like they could call them the Aliens now, right? Or New Zealand? No, what did I say? New Zealand. Nevada. What did I say? New Zealand when I meant Nevada? That's odd. So Nevada could have a pro team, and they could be the Aliens, or New Mexico. I think I said yeah. I think I said New Zealand when I meant Nevada because of the word new and for whatever reason. So anyway, that would be awesome. But on second thought, the team based out of New Mexico called the Aliens would probably ruffle some SJW's feathers. And I'll tell you why. It's because they're going to think, "Oh, illegal aliens, are you trying to make some sort of joke? Are you trying to make light of the fact that we have an immigration problem? Is there something wrong with somebody being a foreign national? They're dreamers." That stuff. Oh my gosh. Some of the fun hashtags on Twitter today were aliens are real, and I kind of went into that just then. And then the other one was distract a 90s kid. All right, distract a 90s kid. Here you go. Play Forrest Gump whenever, and I will stop whatever I'm doing and kind of just watch it. I'm so into Forrest Gump. If it's just on randomly on like TBS on a Saturday afternoon, doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could have a big comedy show that night. I'll pretty much give it 80% of my attention. Forrest Gump, want to distract a 90s kid. Or if you play like Transformers the animated movie and that's just on, they're just broadcasting that, I'm in. Wait a second. Demolition Man starring Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone is on? Oh my god, Sandra Bullock is so young! She's so gorgeous when she's super young and cute. Dang, I gotta get in that junk, son. Coming to America? Any of those movies. I think Coming to America came out in the 80s. Distracted 90s kid, come on. Oh, what about Topanga? Topanga from Boy Meets World? What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? That's my girl, son. Topanga's my girl. Topanga? I want to bang her. Yeah, I'm really not trying to be that dirty anymore because I want to get monetized eventually, and that's not nice. You think the timing of the Pentagon Navy promoting that now is because there's bigger, more secretive things the government is trying to divert attention away from? That's a great question, and I wouldn't put that beyond the realm of possibilities considering everything that is happening. I would say that the information has been in the it's been in the files for a long time, and after a certain date it's kind of like an expiration date and they do declassify stuff. But I agree with that line. I think that that's I agree with the idea that that could be a possibility. I wouldn't say no. My friend, he says this yesterday. He says it's all of this is China. He says it's all China. China's got this thing going on. I've heard another person say that China's had 1,000-year plan. They're operating on a 1,000-year plan. I heard somebody say 26-year plan, 24-year plan. I've heard somebody go, China's been trying to become a world power for the last 1,000 years. Whoa, okay, right? Some old ancient triad I Ching type knowledge. Maybe, I don't know, but China's behind everything, and they want to become a superpower, and they want to destabilize America and the American economy, and they want to make the president look like a doofus, and they're, by many people's accounts, doing a good job. I'm not going to weigh in either way. Because we all know aliens been chilling amongst us since 99. Oh, oh yeah, well, the movie Independence Day came out in, like, 95, so I was aware that the aliens had landed as early as then. Not to mention the film Earth Girls Are Easy, starring Damon Wayans, Jim Carrey, and a young, handsome Jeff Goldblum. Oh my goodness. If you can find Earth Girls Are Easy, Gina Davis is the female lead in the film, you are going to see Jeff Goldblum at the peak of his looks. They got him straight up. He is the apex alpha male in the film. They got him set up like that, and you're like, what? But the thing is, that's when he was that guy, and they just delivered him like that. Tall, dark, and handsome, as they say. Aliens are living around us, walking around us. Hey, maybe it's if they are, it's not whatever. Whatever. Okay, because apparently it's not affecting our lives. Just like the presidency, I've been an adult, like a full blown adult. Like let's call it if you're 18, I mean you're 18, you can vote and you can go into the military and all that good stuff. That's cool. You can't drink yet. You can't even get a rental car. I would say like when you have a college degree, or let's say when you're 20, let's just say 25. Let's just keep it even. When you're 25, I've been over 25 for more than a dozen years. So I'm like a guy who's voted multiple times. I've seen a lot of the world, and the president doesn't change your life drastically, depending on who it is. It really, really doesn't change your life drastically. That's one thing. And if aliens are indeed around us, let's say they are, if they are, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's negligible. The difference. No, bro. No, bro. What are you talking about? If the aliens weren't here, we would have no 5G, bro. No 5G, no internet, bro. The aliens, they put the ideas into guys' heads like Bill Gates. They did that, man. They put that in Steve Jobs' heads. They were over there in the Pacific Northwest and they started hitting people in Washington State and NorCal with laser beams, boom, going right into their brains. That's what it was, bro. That's what it was, man. Yeah, aliens. I hit up the alien stuff. I saw this guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zuby. If you're familiar with Zuby, Zuby is a English rapper, and he's also this guy is very interesting. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take his Twitter status, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw that into the live stream for you to check out real quick. Boom. And I'm gonna open up a window here for myself. Aren't you proud of me for not staring up at the high monitor today? I have not been doing that. I'll tell you why I haven't been doing it, because I turned it off so I wouldn't do it. So this is Zuby's tweet that I saw earlier, and I thought it would be fun to comment on. So he asked on Twitter, what happens at an atheist's funeral? I'm not being facetious here. I'm genuinely curious, as I've never been to one. So he asks that question. And there's so many comments in the thread. It's like 815 comments. So this guy Zuby's really popular. Now, if you've never heard of Zuby, he's also an author, a rapper and an author. He's a podcaster. He's a speaker. He's a mouthpiece. He says he's a coach. I'm not sure about that. He's an Oxford graduate. He's been on the Joe Rogan Experience, but most people know him because he broke the British women's deadlift record without even trying. Wait, I thought he was a man. Zuby is a man, biologically. But when he did the deadlift, he identified as a woman. Then he lifted the weights. He broke the record, and then he went about his day with his penis, which is a real thing because he's biologically a male. So I'm not trying to denigrate him. I'm not being a bigot. He's also straight. Okay? So he's a biological male who identified as a woman who is straight as a biological male. So he does date women. He was doing it as a goof, you guys. It's hilarious. In fact, the emoji in the tweet is a crying, laughing emoji. So this guy is hilarious, and I think you should definitely check him out. All right, we talked about our W's. Yeah, what else we got? I want to see if there's anything else happening in here. Kind of quiet in here. All right, got 55 minutes deep. We're doing well here. All right. Yeah. He's got a lot of funny stuff, man. So I think I'm gonna get into hatchet throwing. I think I'm gonna get into axe throwing. I think that's the next thing. I'm gonna just boom, and it's not that I'm some sort of lumberjack or anything like that. I want another hobby. I want another hobby because I I feel like a little I feel like a little bored, and I don't want to buy. I want to buy a video game system, but I'm not going to do it. I feel a little bored by the fact that there's essentially a lot of activities that we can't do. But I could just buy. I could just order. I could actually go to Home Depot and just buy some hatchets there. Never even thought of that. And I could just practice throwing hatchets. So I think I'm going to do that because I'd really like to ultimately start shooting bow and arrow, but I'm not going to be able to do that for sure. So, because there's not really any place to practice doing that. But I can get good at throwing hatchets in my backyard. So I'm going to buy several, and then I'm just going to practice start throwing them. And that's going to be awesome. And worst case scenario, if the zombie apocalypse comes, I'm going to have a skill that I can use to maybe extend my life a day or two, right? This guy, get the hatchet guy. He's awesome. Boom. I'm not sure if you guys know that a man drank bleach. He drank disinfectant cleaner. He actually did. I think that in hindsight, he's probably thinking that that was a bad idea. I would love to hear a comment from the man who did it. I just want to see you picture like what he looks like, right? Do you picture a man in a suit with a nice tie? Not a sports jacket. He's wearing a full suit. He's got a tie. He's got a thing right here, like a tie clip to like make sure his tie doesn't get lost. He's got cufflinks. He's got a nice business style haircut, clean shaven. Yeah, he looks like he's that guy. He's he's a alumni of Carnegie Mellon University, and then he heard Donald Trump just spouting out. He was shooting the bull about maybe we can do that. Maybe that works. And then he took it as scientific evidence, theoretical, and he went ahead with it. That's the guy that I'm picturing. Are you picturing somebody like that? I picture somebody that looks like they look like their IQ is about 140. I'm picturing somebody like that did that. Is that what you're picturing? That's what I'm picturing. Maybe that's not who did it. Luckily, JetBlue's doing a good job. JetBlue is making everybody, not just the flight crew and the staff, but also all travelers wear masks on planes. That is very good, JetBlue. And that is one of the I'm not sure if all the airlines are doing that. I know some are not, but JetBlue is. So JetBlue is getting a lot of positive feedback from the consumers out there and from the news outlets because they're doing that. They're making people do it. And that's beautiful, JetBlue. And they need to, because I've flown JetBlue many times to Long Beach, from DC to Long Beach, and you know what? They need it. They need all the good press they can get, because JetBlue's not that dope. I'd rather fly Virgin. Oh man, this is the next thing I want to just talk about here. If you have a big enough following, you can say pretty much whatever you want. If you have a big enough following on the internet, specifically, say whatever you want. And if you have a small enough following, you can also say whatever you want. But once you get to this certain point, you actually have to watch your mouth. And the freedom of speech, it's not really there. It's not really there. The freedom of speech only exists if you are a successful, financially successful comedian. That is the biggest place where there's the most latitude to say what you want. A financially successful comedian with a large following on the internet. Otherwise, you can't say whatever you want. You can't have a crazy YouTube channel and be in the Michigan militia and be a hardcore right wing misogynist. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not real. There's not really the freedom of speech in that way. And I'm very aware of that. I have a quote. I wrote it myself. It goes, you have the right to free speech, but you must earn the privilege of an audience. And that's true. You have to earn every listen, every view, every comment, even if it's a negative comment. You have to earn every thumbs down. If you don't even have a product that people would even listen to enough to hate, yeah, you got nothing. You got to earn even the hate. That's the thing I want to finish with. You got to earn the hate, because some people don't even have that. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting more notoriety one way or another. Growth based hobbies. Did that just come in there? I'm sorry, I missed that. Growth based hobbies. Oh yeah, the growth based hobby. Well, I will say that that was the hatchet throwing. That was one of the growth based hobbies that I was talking about, because I can use that as a skill. And also, I figure like I'd like to chop more wood. I want to I want to be outside more, and there's competitions actually. One of the top 100 hatchet throwers in the country has a hatchet throwing um, business. It's like, you go there, you drink, you get a couple buddies there, and they do axe throwing. So I want to do that. Growth based hobbies are the way. The Tao of time is to use your free time that you want, your leisure time, your rec time. You want to focus that on something that will actually benefit you later. See, when you sit around and you just play video games, you can do that. But video games, like marijuana, are for people with abundance. If you have yet to build a full functioning kingdom, you have no reason to be sitting around really playing video games or smoking weed. Those are not growth based hobbies. So, for example, I I started growing I started growing plants very soon after I realized certain plants could be grown at home. I found out that you could grow tomatoes in your backyard. Man, I was growing tomatoes in school. And I was eating tomatoes, putting them on my salad. It felt so good. I felt so powerful. So that's a growth-based hobby. I had an aquarium for a few years. It was pretty sweet. I got some weird sort of parasite in there. There's little white worms. Oh, they were so freaky. Ugh, it makes me freak out when I think about it. So yeah, that was a bad thing. But the aquarium was a growth-based hobby. I'm actually a runner. I've mentioned this before. I don't want to hit you ad nauseum with it, but running is a very good hobby, and I'm gonna get into yoga. So yesterday I did yoga. I woke up today and I felt so much more open, my whole body. Growth-based hobbies are expansive, and they allow you to flourish in life, and they're applicable to your everyday. So I'm gonna get into this guy right here. I got this one. It's called Yoga for Runners. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait to stretch out my hips. My my butt is so tight. My butt stays tight. And I have another one. I have Yoga for Beginners. I am certainly a beginner when it comes to yoga. And then you guys would think I was super into yoga with all these yoga DVDs. I've only watched like one of them. And then I have this one, AM PM Yoga for Beginners. So I'll tell you what. I'm trying to do 8 milers daily, right? Because I want to hit 40 miles this week. Man, 40 miles is a lot. That means I got to do 8 miles a day for at least 5 days a week. And the way that I set my week up was I didn't do anything the first day of the week because I had done a 12. I had done an 8 before then. So then I took the next day off. So now I have 6 days left. But I got to hit 40, right? And then I have a 13 miler on Sunday. So Saturday, I'm not going to train on Saturday. I might do a 4. So what I have to do is I did an 8 mile yesterday and an 8 mile today. So tomorrow and on Thursday, I got to do 8. I'm dying, yo. But I can do this. I'm going to do AM yoga. And then I'm going to do a 4 miler. Then I'm going to do a light weight session. Then I'm going to do another light 4 miler in the evening. And then I'm going to do PM yoga. So when I do an 8 miler, I'm going to break it up into 2 4s. And I'll do yoga before the first one. And then I'll do yoga after the second one. Boom. So that is the trick for maintaining that mileage. It's not easy. And you got to be smart about your training. See, even learning about even program design like that's a growth thing. Like you can learn how to be a fitness business person by just exercising. People will ask you advice all the time. I'm very heavily considering starting a YouTube fitness channel. Okay, so what else do we have here? A lot of people doing bullshit hobbies during quarantine. For sure. I got this board game up here that I was going to start playing, but I didn't have the right crew to play it with. But you know what? There's this dope game. It's called Space Base. That is like the best board game. It was the #1 board game in 2018, as a matter of fact. So I might cop the Space Base expansion pack and Space Base, and then when I get you got to get just the right group of people. You need the right mixture. You know what I'm saying? And I get all them people together and powerful. It's gonna be so dope. It's gonna be so dope. Yeah. You know what? Be a sought after man. Be a sought after man. That's what I was gonna say, man. Like this was the one thing I was thinking about. I was thinking about like if you're at one end of the spectrum, considering success, right? And then you have the bell curve, and then the other end is so let's say you're at the low end of success. In the middle, that's where the most people are, right? And then at the other end, it's like the 1%. Okay, that's your Gary Vaynerchuk and all sorts of Grant Cardones. I'm just naming financial moguls and such. So I think you just go try to get rich. Just go hard. Go all the way. Shoot for the stars, right? Shoot all the way for the stars. That's my advice. Because when you shoot for the stars, and it sounds so cliche, but they say when you shoot for the stars and you fall, you'll land on a cloud. That's my idea. I had a friend, and he was talking about how he couldn't even like get a girlfriend, and I said, dude, you should be not even working on trying to get like one girlfriend. You should be focusing on doing everything that you possibly can to be the best guy you can be. And then what's going to happen is then you're going to have multiple women approaching you because they're just going to see how shiny you are. You're going to be like the Silver Surfer. You're going to be so shiny. And then you can do whatever you want with that. But so he didn't think that way. He wasn't thinking that he could be so awesome. When I was a little boy and I played basketball, I was like, man, I want to be in the NBA. Like when I started playing basketball, I was like, oh, I like, well, I'll start hitting the heavy bag at the gym, and I'll be like, maybe I could still make a run at it. Maybe I could be like an amateur MMA fighter. I still say stuff like that. Some people they don't even think that. I was thinking that I could be yeah, it's just like, why are we not even thinking that we can do these things? These things are not possible. When you believe that something is possible, your thoughts and ideas are real things. They really are. They're electrically real. Synaptically, it's a real thing that can be measured. And a lot of times, people don't give their positive ideas the value that they could have. and they negate them, and then they become trash and they can't even use them. And it's like, dude, man, you could have totally rocked it with that idea, man. That thing was cool, man. That would have been an awesome idea. Let me see. This is a quote from Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is the author. I mentioned him yesterday. He wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning, and it's an approach. It's called logotherapy, and essentially, emotional and traumatic occurrences will change considerably and be healed if new meaning is placed around them. So if you can reframe a situation, it can change your feelings about it. It can heal emotional trauma from the issue. So everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. You can't do that. That's why when people are in prison, they say they can enslave me, but they can't enslave my mind. They can imprison me, but they can't imprison my mind. That's what that's about. Because remember, this guy was in a concentration camp. He recontextualized, Viktor Frankl recontextualized the horrific circumstances to hold profound meaning for the human spirit. Every life experience, no matter how tragic, contains a hidden lesson. Basically, life events are opportunities to grow, expand, experience, and develop. This is part of the psychology of the psychoanalyst Carl Jung, who concluded after a lifetime of study, and this is my favorite psychoanalyst. Jordan Peterson loves him too, and for good reason. He's like the dope. Like, he was my favorite, and then I heard Jordan liked him, and then I was like, wow, Jordan really cites him a lot. There's an inborn drive in the unconscious toward wholeness, completeness, and realization of the self. And that the unconscious will devise the ways and means of bringing this about, even if there are traumatic, even if they're traumatic to the conscious mind. So, if you have something that's deep in your subconscious and you're not acknowledging it, you just keep pushing it down and suppressing it and repressing it, what will happen is, if I put you in that sensory deprivation tank, man, and I say you can't come out, that shit's gonna come up. It's gonna come up to the surface. It's gonna bubble up like boiling water. And that thing, it's gonna come up there, and you have to acknowledge it. And you have to face your inner demons. And you have to surrender to the emotional pain of it and accept it. And you have to look at it and feel it, and then see, I'm still alive. I'm still okay. You gotta let it go. And you let it go. And then when you let it go, when you truly let it go, your attachment, because people are attached to the pain, and that's why they're suppressing it. Don't let yourself be attached to it. I feel very little guilt. I feel very little guilt for the things that I've done that were wrong. You know why? Because I say I'm a normal guy, and I let it go, and I never let myself feel like I'm a bad person about stuff. And that is a thing that it's part of how I'm built, but it allows me to never be super bummed out. But a lot of people let themselves feel guilt, and I am thankful that my structure and my constitution doesn't let me get down into these low levels of behaviors. Have I been ashamed of things before? For sure. But I don't sit around feeling too guilty. I really don't do that. And that's just, that was a blessing for me, and I'm grateful for that. But what happens is, you acknowledge all that garbage that you keep repressing, and you let that go. And then it's no longer holding you down, and then you go chuk, and you level up. You level up out of that that level of consciousness, that state of consciousness that's not serving you. And you let go of negative feelings, and you know what happens? You are going to have an emptiness that will be filled by more positive emotions. And that will become your new set point. As we keep surrendering our resistance to love, we will notice that within ourselves, there's something that wants us to express itself through sharing and giving and letting go of the past and burying the hatchet. I guess I was talking about hatchets that came back. It's kind of crazy. So, this is my thing. Like earlier, somebody's in the live stream and they're talking about how they feel like they don't trust people. If you don't trust people, you ain't never gonna get in love. And if you don't emanate love, you ain't never gonna get nobody, because ain't nobody want to be with nobody that doesn't have love coming out of them. Because if you don't have love coming out of you from the jump, I don't even want to be around you. I want to be around people that have love coming out of them, because some people just do. I can feel that person. They feel awesome. Then they feel like they got love coming out of them. Well, let me go over there, because I'm going to feel that over here. But you won't feel it over there. You know why? Because those people don't trust nobody. So you don't got no love come out of you because you don't trust anybody. That's low frequency stuff. If you could trust people, you could love people. But because you can't trust anybody, you can't even love anybody. And you got to be able to love yourself so that you can put out that energy that is from within you. You got to cut out all the douche nozzlery. I made that word up, the douche nozzlery. I love that new word. I'm very proud of it. So, that's the end. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes deep. Remember, you have the right to an audience. You have the right to the audience, but you have to earn the privilege. You have the right to free speech. Oh my God, I butchered my own thing. I apologize. You have the right to free speech, but you have to earn the privilege of an audience. This is the end of the live stream for today. I'm gonna get a YouTube video out as soon as I possibly can. I didn't do one yesterday. I'm a little sad about that. I lost a subscriber. It's no big deal. I'm gonna get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them this week anyway. We're moving forward. So keep checking me out on the YouTube. So subscribe, like. I love you. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Please share this. Please subscribe. Please comment on what you'd like me to cover in future live streams. I'm working on my way to 4,000 hours in 365 days and 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal. I will get my goal. It may not happen in the next year, but it will happen, and I will get there. Help me on my way, because that is the right thing to do. You have the right to free speech, but you must earn the privilege of an audience. My name's Tim. Thank you so much, and peace.